What's going on, everybody? Travis with REC Garage, and back at the shop. Day 3, working in the new shop, loving it, getting a ton of work done. Like I thought, nothing is really stopping me from doing anything, so I got no excuses. So yeah, I'm gonna finish. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna finish, but I'm gonna continue. There should be no reason I can't finish, but you never know. Problems happen all the time. But I'm gonna go and drop. I'm gonna drop the steering arms in the 33. Hopefully be an easy process. I think I'm gonna do it on the vise and not worry about having to have the spindles in the axle, only because I just painted the axle and I'm trying not to, mess it up. So it might take a couple test fits, or I'm just gonna do it anyway and then just touch up the axle if I get it too hot, because it's gonna get really hot and the paint's probably gonna burn off, and I just painted the axle like a dummy. I should have waited until after everything was done. But, I wanted to do something while I was waiting for something else to happen. Tried to double multitask, but it just didn't work out in my favor. Well, it did. I guess there's no reason it wouldn't, but, I just gotta figure it out. So, enough talking. Let me put my lunch away, make some breakfast, and then get working. These headlights look so much better with the original glass in here. I need to get reflectors and gaskets because I don't have that. I gotta call Joe at Joe's Antique Auto and see if he has any. I don't know if they remake those, if they're in stock or not, but I gotta find out. And if not, I might have to rob a pair from something. I don't think I have any this big because I only have one set of lights this big, and I think it's for 32. I believe they fit, but that's my headlights. I keep robbing from stuff from me to put on this car just because this car's so awesome and I want to get it done. I gotta stop. All right, so before I get started on dropping those steering arms, I gotta fix this. This is the one I had to hammer out. And as you can see, it's pretty chowdered up. I wish I had a thread chaser, and I actually just bought one because of this. I don't have it yet, and I want this fixed. So right now, for this fix, I'm going to use one of these, which is a 36 style, and weld it to here. I'll put a seam in the middle, cut this, cut that, weld it together. Make sure I chamfer it good. Weld it, make sure it's straight. That's kind of it. I know I was talking yesterday, I didn't want to weld things because it's a point of failure, blah, blah, blah. If you can help it, I wouldn't weld something, If you can get away with bending it or something, then yeah, but this is a totally different story. And this is really just a pin. It holds the axle to everything, and even if, this got tightened too much and it snapped and fell out, your front end would probably never fall apart. But not saying that ever will happen. I'm just saying, if that ever happens, you're gonna be fine anyway. It's not like a catastrophic failure if that happens. It would be a bummer, but you'll be fine. So I'm gonna cut these up, make this one have threads again, because this is just, it's even cracked down there. Because the pinhole for the cotter pin, that just makes a weak spot, so when you're pushing with a punch, you just end up cracking it if you have to hit it any harder than like that. You end up cracking it. So unfortunately, how easy the one side came out made me think that this was going to come easy, so I didn't get it cherry red the first time. You saw that. That was annoying. Okay, so let me take care of this. Hopefully this will be pretty easy. Nice. nice high carbon steel. You see all those flowery sparks that came off? Phew. Nice. Okay. This guy. We got the 4 inches from the lip. Already getting greasy. Big chamfer on this side, little one on this. You can still get into that crack. Weld it up. Now I gotta find a piece of angle to clamp those two. And a couple tacks on it. Let me test it in the axle and see if it goes in and out nicely. And if not, I need to bang it around until it does. I'll weld a little bit, test it in the axle. Weld a little bit, test it in the axle. Because I do not want this thing to get crooked on me. Didn't even get to the weld portion yet. It didn't fit. Ah. Why would this be welding like shit? Makes no sense. Alright, there we go. Weld it up. The middle, for some reason, welded like crap. I had to dig out the welds a couple times. Porosity, I don't know why. But I got it to go without any porosity in the outside. It's real nice. I just gotta hit it with this guy in a few minutes. Let it cool down a little bit. Test it one last time. And then I can kind of assemble. Well, it's kind of already assembled, but the front end here. I'm just going to do them on it just because it's going to be a lot easier instead of having to do it 3 or 4 times to kind of guess if it's going to clear. You know, might as well just do it right the first time. And, you know, I'll just have to repaint the axle a little bit, touch it up, whatever. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to pull this table out a little bit, lock the axle in the vise, and, you know, slap those spindles on. We'll get heating and bending. Hopefully I have enough oxyacetylene because I got small tanks and I used a lot yesterday trying to get that perch pen out. So we'll see what happens. It's still hot. All full of rust. Okay. So probably gonna have to take the paint. Got a little bit of paint down there when I painted, so switch this with the purple. Get it out. This guy hits about there. So this particular scenario, I want to heat this up here and pull kind of down and this way to get this closer or further away from the axle. And then once it's down, I come up a bit. It should be all right? Unless this axle's wrong. Wait a second. Did I put the wishbone on wrong? I don't know. Let me check. Okay, yeah, it is on right. I thought so. Okay, I just got to get down pretty far. 2 inches to be exact, I think. 2 or 3. So I'll just get heating and see what happens. I got the tie rod over there, so I can hook them up if need be to see if everything's going to be kosher. But yeah, set it up like that, pull it this way and down, and then kind of tweak the end back up and flat. So I'll measure from when this is straight with the axle, measure to the table and see how high that is, and then I have to get a few inches lower than that. Make it equal on each side. Damn it. Now. Come on, you little creep. That's all I got, so try it again. Clears that pretty much. Well, it does. All right, first step, got this clear on that, and it's pretty much sticking straight down, and I need to kick the end up. Hope we're gonna get it. I'm gonna try to heat it right at the end there. If there's not enough room, we just have to get, they make, I think they're Jeep tie rod ends. They kick up at the end, because this is a very hard drop. For these steering arms, there's not a lot of material here, but we'll see. Might be able to get a little bit more length if I heat this up and bend it down a little more, but you know, I don't want to be underneath. I don't want to be underneath the axle. You know, I gotta be over here. They gotta be behind it. So, you know, we'll see what we get. shot. That should be all right. Should be. There's the main thing here. Should be. That's still hot. Okay. Seems all right. Let me drop the other side. We'll go from there. As for mechanical brakes, we got juice, don't need them, just gonna be in the way. So I'm gonna contour these so they look factory, I guess. You know, turns into that. Should we do a soft curve? No. It's a hard 90. I don't think there's enough material there to make it look right. So, what I did, I think was sufficient. Man. Alright, you got the perch pins all cleaned up, wire wheeled out, ready for paint. We'll see if these are cool enough to touch. Probably not. That's still hot. So, wait a little bit more. Take the kingpins out, clean everything back up, and hit these with the wire wheel. Then I gotta clean the tie rod, shorten the tie rod, and put it back in. I think I can do a test fit now. It's not gonna, at least it's not gonna burn up the bushing on the tie rod to let me know if I'm good. Try the other side. I think this needs to be bent more. Unfortunately, I think it does. Let's try this guy. keep hearing stuff behind me. Okay, this one's low enough. This one needs a little bit more. All right, so I don't think this is gonna work. The steering arm is just too short that it needs to be damn near straight down to work. And like, I'm moving the tie rod to steer, and it hits a point of like over center pretty quickly, and the like I can't push it back, and that's, yeah. If that's lock and I try to push this over, like, it doesn't want to go. It's it kind of hit an over center point. So there's two options I got. I'm gonna throw it in the car with the new spring without the tie rods attached and see if I can sneak a tie rod above the bones and below the frame. If I got room to sneak it in there, it'll go there. If not, I'll have to keep them down, but I'll pull it out and kind of raise it up a bit, and I'll have to order the funky Jeep tie rods that go down so I can keep some length here, because there's like nothing here, and the steering is going to get all wacky too. I think it's going to be sketchy, so I'll either order those tie rods or I'll bring it back up and sneak it in between. Trial and error. So let's throw this in with the new spring and figure out if it's possible to sneak it in, because that would be ideal. We can use the stock arms, stock tie rod. You don't have to like mess with those wacky ones. So if you're on the side of the road, you know, broken tie rod, and you can't just walk to AutoZone and grab one of those because they're a little funky. So I'd like to keep this if we can. All right, so battery on this GoPro is dying, so I haven't been recording much, but here's an update. Got the spring on here, reverse eye, drop spindle, drop axle. I'm gonna throw it under the car and see if I have room, and then probably take lunch. But while that's happening, this has got to charge, so I'll probably come back at you later when that's all charged and this is all in the car again, and we'll see if we have room to bend this back up and go above the wishbone. That's optimal, but we'll see what happens. But the front end's looking good. It's obviously going to get blown apart again and get painted again, but yeah, pretty cool. Actually, I don't know, I might paint it all together, because the nuts are going to get all messed up when I tighten it. These will get painted separate, but I think all this can get painted as one. Joe did that on his, and it just looks good. Joe painted his front end that way, and for some reason it just looks good when everything is black. So might end up just happening that way, and we'll throw it under for the last time. So all right, let's eat lunch and I'll get that thing under there. All right, so I got the axle and wishbone in here. Looks like I got a nice slot here right for the steering, so you know, gotta bend this back up. I wonder if I could do it here. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it here and flip this upside down so it'll go in from the top, so I don't have to lift this up so much, you know. We'll see. So I ran out of oxygen. I can't heat those up anymore. I got them to a point where I think they're good, but I just need to tweak them a little bit, and I can't get them hot enough to move it anymore. I need to just move it away from the backing plate, and I need to spin the bottom, not the bottom, I need to spin that bung so we can put the tie rod in from the top. right now I'm gonna mess with the headlights. I need the gasket and the reflectors, but I have the shorty stainless bases and new gaskets here. So I'm gonna take the headlights off, swap to the new bases while I got nothing to do, but while I'm waiting, because I'm just gonna go on the way home, stop and get new bottles. And I'm actually gonna go to Joe's Antique Auto, I think, on the way home, so I'll leave a little early and I'll get the reflectors. I'll either get reflectors, the original ones, or I'll get the halogen conversion one, because it already has a halogen plug in here. So I'd like to do that. But you know, I just gotta, whichever they have in stock. If they got the regular reflectors, I can just cut them, cut little slots in it to fit. I've done that before, and you know, it works out fine. But if he's got the kit in stock, I'd rather just go with that. Let's take these headlights off, swap the stands, lower the headlights down a little bit, and yeah, I'll probably head out after that. Yeah. I don't know if you can see anything, because I sure as hell can't. But loosening up this headlight, you gotta take the wires out because they go through the carriage bolt, so it's kind of a dumb idea, but you know, it is what it is. Yes. Nice. Okay, one at a time, people. Okay. That, not. Jeez. Time welded. It has been time welded. All the wax throughout the years. Shorty versus stock. This is after. Killer. Nice stainless. So when I get the reflectors, those won't look red anymore. And hopefully by that time I'll have some gas and I can actually finish this stupid axle. You know, things aren't always as simple as they seem. Show you something else too. See this guy? It's hitting the stop. Got room, but look at it compared to, where are you? See this straight, comes down. It's a little close because she's got Lincolns in front and the backing plate sinks into the spindle, so this is probably gonna hit. So I just need to pull it out a little bit and twist this around because I want the taper not on the bottom anymore. I want it on the top. So twist that. Unless I got a reamer that's the same size and I can ream the top, but that's a little sketchy because the bottom's already reamed out. I'm gonna end up making just a hole, and that's not good. So I'll just spin it. And these guys, I wanted to use the original shocks here, but see how that don't line up with that anymore? And this, if we kind of go crazy, not crazy, but if like pulls up on a hill on one side or what, like this thing's gonna go straight into here, and the dog bone doesn't even fit on there, right? Look at that. It's hitting, so yeah, that's not gonna work. Gotta go tube shock, or modify these to fit. You know, I maybe make a tiny dog bone, cut one of the holes off and mount this real close to that. That's an option, but then I'd have to shorten this guy, which, you know, it's not the end of the world. I could probably shorten him and we'd be all right. But this wants to live like down here, so it living up here, it living up here is not kind of where it likes to, but we'll see. I think this is, yeah, this is the weight of the car on the spring. So let me measure the opening. 12 and 3/4, let's say. Oh, 13 and a quarter, 13 and a half. All right, so it's gonna be tucking some front tire. That's what we want. I think we're switching from the 550s to the 500s that we originally bought for the car. But we're obviously gonna test it with this first because they're on the wheels. So needless to say, I'm pretty excited to get this thing on the ground. I think it's finally gonna get the stance that we're looking for. There are some things, I think I do wanna make those dog bones work. So I'm gonna have to mess with those and mess with the perch pins again. So there's still stuff to do. It's not just a simple axle swap. If you wanna go low, there's a lot of things you gotta mess with to do that. So that's probably all I got for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Tomorrow, if Joe's has everything I need, actually no, I'm just waiting on the gas for here. So tomorrow, this will be on the ground and it will be low. So just stay tuned, keep watching, because it's coming. See you guys in the next video.